We have one more talk after this, which feels like it's an appropriate end of asking the question about, is socialism possible in the United States? But otherwise, we've come to the end of what I think most all of us could agree has been an incredible day, of both the opening plenary of having statements from organizers that in multiple struggles, to workshops on how to combat the issues we're interested in, and building our knowledge in areas in which we wanted to know more, and recognizing both Sada and Bucky for telling the stories of how they got involved, and as I feel like Gloria mentioned earlier, of that we all come with stories as to when and why we entered into this. And so it's kind of brought us to the time to ask the question, what is the role of a party? And I feel that the start of the answer to this question lies in the answer to this one. Why did you walk through that door today? Well, what drove each one of us through that door is something different. For each of us, at its root, it was a struggle. There is a story that lies within each of us of a first struggle that got us out there looking for a way to do more, to be the change that impacts our communities in the ways that they need. And somewhere along the path, we made two realizations. The first is that as long as the capitalist system continues its domination, reforms that bring gains to the working class are always under threat of attack and can be chipped away and destroyed. And we need only look to the current attacks against Social Security and Medicare, against unions' rights, and against a woman's right to choose to see the glaring truth of this. The second is that it's hard to create the smallest change on your own. And that is the role of the party. A party is needed to galvanize and unite the working class with its diverse communities and experiences in order to wage an effective struggle against capitalism. We are stronger when we work together, and we are strengthened by what each one of us brings. The result is an immense impact on the consciousness of those around us and in the power carried in each of the struggles we engage in. We in the PSL are moving forward with the task of building a revolutionary Marxist party based in the working class, and we seek unity with all who agree with our perspective. We not only look forward towards a different future, but we stay engaged in all of today's struggles against oppression and exploitation. We recognize that the power that has the ability to change this whole unjust system lies within the working class, but only once they open their eyes and take that first step. That is why it is crucial at all times that we strive to be in the streets, making the demands to fulfill the needs of the people. And we must always be there to fight against all injustices and to open up the collective consciousness of those struggling to see the interconnectedness of all struggles and the true nature of this capitalist system. And we are asking you to join us. Because the living conditions of people both in this country and all around the world have been deteriorating over the last 3 decades in the face of a massive corporate onslaught, and which have only accelerated over the last 3 years in this current economic crisis. Because more than 20 million people in this country are unemployed or underemployed, with disproportionate amounts targeting veterans, youth, and people of color. Comparable levels of roughly 20% can be found in multiple countries throughout Europe, and was true of the Egyptian youth just prior to the revolution. To say nothing of the state of imperialism's neo-colonies in the developing world. We're asking you to join us in the fight against a system that sees no money for schools or buses or healthcare, while seeing endless money for wars and occupations that always promise a profit. To join the fight against a system that seeks to foster divisiveness on the basis of race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, and all other things. A division that has all too often resulted in violence and death. A system that sees no problem in evicting tens of thousands of people from their homes, letting thousands in this country alone die every year from a lack of sufficient health or dental insurance, and encouraging the deportations of hundreds of thousands that rip families apart. To join the fight against a system that sends thousands of troops and drones to countries all around the world to keep the international workers subjugated to industry and employs the police departments to terrorize and oppress communities here. A system that does not look to the future for the long-term effects on humanity's health or the ecological ramifications, but instead against the bottom line and the profit margin. One that demonizes all those who stand against imperialism while trying to make us believe that we have control over our leaders under this system. We are asking you to join us in fighting for all of those reasons that compelled you to come here today. We are asking you to join us to fight for a better world. And of course, as may be no surprise, we are not a party like the Democrats or Republicans for so many reasons. But the one that is most important now is that we ask for more than just your name on a slip of paper. We ask for your ongoing political education and your commitment to the struggle. And when we're done here today, if you're interested in speaking to somebody at the back table about learning more, I strongly ask that you go back there. The moment is coming. As many today have commented, there is something today different in the atmosphere all around us. I'm not the only one who feels it. We're surrounded by the struggles of the people in the Middle East and North Africa to free themselves from the client states that have long ruled over them. The perseverance of the peoples in Latin America who fight to drive U.S. imperialism from their borders. The demonstrations in countries throughout Europe against the IMF-imposed austerity measures, and the occupations in dozens of cities in this country that are fighting for the rights of the 99%. People the world over are taking a stand and are seeing that the system under which we are all oppressed is not indestructible. We are asking you to join us in shattering these chains that bind us in order to win a whole new world. For it is when we join together that we will win. Thank you.